In the break, we spoke to other people present today at the venue. There are grandmasters giving simul's to the kids. Sergei Karyakin has just finished his simul, and we asked his opinion. And one thing we discussed was that perhaps letting this bishop leave was a decision that needed to be considered a bit more carefully, and you could maybe start by taking. We looked at h4 in this position, and this is clearly a mistake. But doing the same as in the game after taking on e7 could have been a potential idea. But it's not doing very much on f8. I can definitely understand why Magnus did not want to exchange that bishop, because it's a purely defensive piece.
That's some kind of common moment for such positions. Then the position remains closed. The bishops are passive and q defensive. But okay, since right after you manage to play c6 and b5.
Well,
no one will call.
Yeah, if the queen side somehow breaks open, those bishops will be a very powerful force, of course. But the thing about c6 and b5, it doesn't actually create a threat.
Right now. But okay, we can...
I don't know, let's say I play knight e4 here.
Can't we be patient and
we
try
absolutely
to play...
can, but...
I mean, king a6, rook b8, and so on.
I wanted to play bishop a3, but...
Yeah, if you do this... and then maybe e5 will hang.
That's true.
At some point.
It's a very strange kind of structure where...
Maybe we shouldn't be in such a hurry with b5, because we can start with king e6, for example. And then rook b8. Okay, because, as I said previously, the biggest drawback of this knight f3 journey to f6 or wherever is that you cannot really play h4 that quick.
It's much harder for white now to create any pressure against the black king side, because h6 is now well protected, and to get to the g5 pawn, you ideally want to play either f4 or h4. And
I think first of all h4, because and then you will create this very strong idea of playing f4, f5.
That's true. Ideally you probably want to play h4, but with the knight now, as you said, the knight now made the long way from f3 to f6, and it looks very nice on f6, but it no longer supports h3, h4.
I mean, everybody is left from this party. No one is h8 anymore, so rooks are already connected, and this doesn't seem to be a big problem for black.
Well, what else can we play for in this position with white? We can play for knight h5 and f4, or knight g2, maybe knight g2. But after knight g2, b5 becomes a much more
indeed, because
C4,
at least c4 is hanging right now.
Yeah.
And knight on g2 is also good, but the problem is that when it was on f3, h4 was a direct threat. Because after h4 you just want simply to take on g5, so you make us to react immediately.
But
so right now
bishop e7 was a very adequate way of covering that. But
yes. So that's why maybe it was the trick to take on e7 at first, because now the position is still very complicated, but looks like black has solved.
Black is very, very solid, let's put it like this. It's unclear how much counterplay he can actually create, and how hard it will be for white to deal with that counterplay if it actually happens. But with the bishop on f8 further cementing the black king side, it will not be easy for white to create any concrete play. Is f4 currently a threat? Let's say if we pass, I understand I keep on saying that, but let's say we do pass. Let's say I know rook c8.
If you play
is this possible?
C6,
is it possible to do this?
Yeah. I get your point.
We got our wish though. We can stop talking about all this, because Vishy is showing us that the ideas of playing a gambit on the queen side
wasn't expected right now. I mean, so
we're never very far from his mind.
This idea was in the air, but
not in this particular position. I have to say, we did not really consider this at all.
Maybe we forgot it.
Yeah,
because in very similar positions. Okay, and let's say now black is really better prepared to this move than it was previously, because now rooks are connected, And probably this b5, a6 was slightly unprepared because, okay, not all black pieces was perfectly placed. And, okay, let's see now.
Now,
Now they are. I think they
yeah,
are.
the point is, if you take with the a pawn, obviously a4, and
All
if you
the
take with the
same.
c pawn, we play c6, and after bc6, king c6, there's actually no other piece that can support the knight on d5.
Yeah,
so
and
it will
b3 collapses and the whole kingside is collapsing, I think.
yeah, and
We can even take with our rook on b3 at some point. Maybe it's not necessary, but okay. It's also
yeah, you
an
could
option.
maybe consider taking on d1
Yeah,
and
maybe
going,
rook
and
b8,
going
yeah.
with b8.
And this is
That's-
key dangerous, right? I must say.
yeah, this is risky. I mean, this particular position, maybe he will hold, but
Oh, I don't think so because okay, it takes on b3, takes on e5.
yeah, this is not ideal.
This is not
So a b5, a4.
what you're going to let happen.
What's going on here? Let's say I take on a4, which should be.
You should take. I
Hang
think.
on a second.
What
Actually, well, I
What
can
else?
do something like rook d3 here, or rook e3. I don't know. I'm not sure which one. Let's say rook e3.
So okay, I think I just take on b3. This is logical. And okay, I think rook e4 is fine.
Yeah.
And if you go very passive like rook c1, I think I
Bishop-
can. Yeah,
bishop
bishop
d7.
d7.
Yeah, that's what I
exactly,
thought. Like
exactly.
Bishop d7, because I thought I was, but now I have knight e4 though. In this particular position, I have knight e4,
Wow.
creating a huge.
That's very important. That's very important.
And it's no. Hang
Oh,
on.
rook
Is it
takes d5.
rook d5, c d5. Yeah, it works for white. Yeah, because e6 is hanging.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
But that's
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 crucial. But maybe
shaky.
knight f4.
wow.
Maybe knight f4.
Or even 97. Some
or knight e7.
calm,
That's true.
calm addition.
Because yes, white currently has seemingly everything under control, but most of his pieces are sort of stretched to almost the breaking point, and he's only one pawn up. So black definitely has compensation. How much compensation is currently unclear to me. Can we just completely ignore it? Before we get into all those forced lines, let's discuss the.
But right now with the king on g3 becomes tricky because if you try to ignore, okay, I take on c4, I play like something like king c6, and then my journey
b8,
with rook to
b3,
b4. Also, I think rook can go to b4 at some point.
Yeah, in some positions this
Yeah,
exchange
because
sacrifice.
you know, okay, white
becomes interesting.
has all the same ideas, and giving them extra pressure to c4 and a4, even in the cost of the exchange. It's
Yeah. Maybe
is a
this
good
is
deal
this is
for
a
black.
decent time for us for the first time in the game to mention the clocks, because it's now becoming reasonably sharp actually. Magnus has 44 minutes left for 17 moves, and it's 51 basically minutes for.
But
or
I must
minute
say,
for-
white's task here is more difficult than black's, because okay, black. I mean, it's more or less obvious when you will play either c6 or a4 on the next move, or you will exchange and play rook b8. And the first time in this game,
Also,
Magnus should
For white, I think
solve some. Yeah.
it's one of the biggest questions for now. Actually, becomes what are we playing for? Suddenly, you know, if before that moment you were just making moves under the assumption that your position was safe,
Yeah,
and okay, if it doesn't work out, you're never worse.
yeah.
But now, I think you start by asking yourself, does this change my assessment of the position to such an extent that I should be looking for a forced equality somewhere?
Yeah, but it's an interesting moment when psychologically, okay, you expect it. This b5 any time when any of your pieces for hang. I mean, any piece could be under
But
some special
here
pressure.
it
But
came-
now, okay, it's so solid. Come on, knight on d5, knight on f6 is a4, c4, b3, and anyway, this b5 comes and it's
Yeah, it's definitely
really great. It's so great for black.
It's a huge change in scenery, and you need some time to readjust to rework
And you know,
your.
in this line, let's say,
Yeah, you should drive. Just
yeah, ab5,
Take.
a4. What did we do here? Rook d3.
I played rook e3,
I
but
think that I think rook d3 or rook e3. Okay, it doesn't matter. I think in both cases I can play c6 here.
takes.
Because now you don't have this rook b6 idea. Because of course I couldn't play c6 previously when rook was on b3 because of the mate. But now my next move is very straight. I just play rook b8, and then okay, maybe still white has some opportunity
So
to...
if I take on a4, you go rook db8, yeah?
Yeah, I think so, because okay, I don't want
Yeah,
to
you don't want to allow rook
to
b3.
mess up with
Yeah.
rook b3. And this is nice. This is nice tempi. I can win.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
there's
And so
definitely...
the problem with these pieces, okay, they're supposed to be active, but they're really stuck. Because of this knight on f6, he simply can't get back into the play. So,
Not without probably giving up some material, yes.
okay, you could...
No, the
Yeah,
bishop is
okay,
hanging
for a
now,
moment,
so-
for a moment you should, let's say, play like this, but now... I mean,
No, this looks very interesting for black now, because...
maybe you can go for something like knight h7, but okay, it's not the way
No,
you want to
bishop
solve
g7.
problems.
Even bishop g7.
Yeah,
you're not
simply.
really improving your...
Yeah, I'm not even going to exchange something, yeah, true.
No, knight h7, I mean, unless you actually take on f8 next move, it makes no sense.
Maybe, okay, in case of rook e4 now...
Rook b3,
Yeah, rook b3,
f3.
another drawback of a position
Well, we play
becomes uncovered.
we play f3 here. Hang on, maybe we can still do this.
Ah, it's not hanging currently.
So this actually keeps the position under some control, but yeah. This
And
is
then some
yeah,
95 might work.
95 or knight f4 maybe in some
Okay, I
positions.
think let's show. Let's say in case of rook d3, maybe this already was very strong.
And bishop d6.
And
yeah.
bishop d6, maybe. Okay,
Well, still needs to be calculated. It's a tricky
yeah,
position, but
f4. Very tricky, but maybe f4 holds all the material.
yeah, it seems like f4. You know, our favorite word, miraculously holds all the material. But
Yeah. But
It's a
looks
very-
like black could have improved. And
Yeah,
also,
C6
and
is
also
not
okay,
forced,
this c6
yeah.
is not forced. C6
Please-
is
please
just
don't-
one of the
yeah,
many
all this-
options.
fast scrolling should not be allowed.
Okay,
Let's not.
create some blizzard. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not
Okay.
confuse. I mean, we are
That's
confused here.
that's probably
but
what I
let's-
actually do with my chess-based board. So I do this like all the time, and it's hard to forget about this habit.
Yeah, this is a a very important watershed in this game. The game before b5 and after b5, and now
At least
I
now it
get the
seems
impression the position after ab5 a4 should be holdable. I mean, if white simply wants not to lose from here, he should be able to return some material and be okay. I have a feeling. But if this is what he is currently aiming at, he will have to start straight away. And Magnus does decide that he can't afford to open any files on the queen side, and goes bishop c3. As I mean, my initial question to you was, can we just completely ignore it?
It's not about completely ignoring. It's
Well,
some kind of
let's not
improvement
take
after
on
all.
b5. Yeah, I mean, completely ignoring it is,
Yeah.
is an overstatement. But
In this meaning, yes. But this bishop on c3 is not really going to take some time. I mean, on e5 anytime, because e5 will hang.
so what do we play? Do we play c6 or do we?
I don't like c6. I like just taking and playing king c6, and then rook b8.
Which rook?
Any rook. But now maybe rook b1 and rook b5. Here, white is
Yeah,
first.
I think this is this
this is a-
probably is the idea.
That's a good
Immediately
point.
trying to assume some control over
But
on
maybe
the
we
queen
just can
side.
take on b5. Since
Rook db8,
yeah, obviously.
rook
Okay,
b5,
rook
and we
b5?
just take. Yeah, I think
Simply
we should.
take, yeah, because the problems with c pawn, I mean, white's problems are all the same. So let's say white has extended, trying to this, there tries to find a solution,
Yeah, the a pawn starts running.
and c6 is absolutely the same
c6,
idea.
yeah, at some point c6 probably will happen, and
Yeah.
white still hasn't started anything on the king side. So
Yeah, that's not so great after all. And also this 97, knight c8, knight c6,
can we
knight c8, knight b6.
once again, if we want to sort of make our position safe, can we do this?
And maybe now it works. Now this 95.
F5?
Okay, the bishop even takes it.
Bishop
Bishop
seven,
c7
rook
rook
b3
before
check,
knight
yeah.
c4. Oh wow.
But okay, let's not
Also
give up
bishop
just yet.
c3. And maybe in this position bishop c7 was possible.
Why not f4?
I don't know. Maybe 4 is enough. I thought maybe we could take and